Hello everybody, this is Casey from Talking Mandarin, and today I want to do a demo and review of the Glossika system for learning languages. And I'm going to specifically focus on using Glossika for learning Mandarin Chinese, because obviously my website and my YouTube channel is all about learning Mandarin. Okay, great, so what is Glossika and what makes it unique? So Glossika is an audio training system based on a very clever machine learning powered spaced repetition algorithm. Alright, so essentially what Glossika is it's a language training system which aims to get you fluent in the language, or rather aims to help you speak fluently. And what that means, according to them, is being able to say a sentence from beginning to end without stuttering, at a good speed, fluidly and effortlessly. And that's what Glossika aims to get you to be able to do. So Glossika trains you with sentences, not words, which is one of the key differences between Glossika and a lot of other resources. Right, so other resources often focus on just teaching vocabulary words in isolation, whereas Glossika focuses on whole sentences. And that way, what you're able to do is assimilate a lot of grammatical patterns and structures that are present in the language without actually consciously studying them or consciously reviewing the grammar, which is really interesting, and a lot of people are very skeptical. But I must say that having used it myself, I found that Glossika does exactly what it says it does. Alright, so let me show you what Glossika used to look like, because this whole online audio training system wasn't always like this. Alright, so this is what Glossika used to look like. It basically used to be ebooks and or physical books with MP3 recordings, and when you bought a Glossika resource you would download those all, and it would be up to you to use the recordings in the proper way that they advise, and you would follow along in the book as well. Alright, so this is actually Mandarin Chinese, the Beijing version that I bought about, must be a few years ago now. This is the business intro book. I used this while I was in Beijing. I felt like my business Mandarin could use some improving, and so I got this, and I was very happy with it. And I'll quickly show you the ebook here. Alright, so it's based on, it basically looks like this. There's 1,000 sentences. You have the English, you have the Chinese in simplified characters, you have the pinyin, and the IPA, right? So the way I used to use it was I would listen to the MP3 recordings, which would be the English and then the Chinese, and I would follow along in the book as well, and then I would, ooh, sorry about that, I just knocked my mic, and then I would repeat the sentence, and then it would go to the next sentence, and so on. And there were different MP3 recordings that you could listen to. Some had the English once and the Chinese twice, some had the English once and the Chinese once, some had just the Chinese, etc. So it was all kind of a bit confusing at times, and I think that's why they've really upgraded the entire system. And now it's all online, right? This is how it looks, and you don't have to worry about using it in the correct way kind of thing, because the entire system is based on a very clever algorithm which will basically show you the sentences you need to practice, and it will also show you the new sentences every single day. So you don't have to physically worry about adding new sentences or anything like that, because the software takes care of that. Okay, so let me show you a little bit. Let me go into the settings here. Alright, so if I click there, and all of these settings you can customize, which is fantastic because it allows you to kind of customize your learning experience, which you could never do before. Okay, so you can customize things for the source language and the target language. And if I just scroll down a little bit, you can see here we have level, and mine is B2, right? So when you sign up for Glossika, you will do a placement test so that the software can determine your level in the language, so it knows to show you sentences that are, you know, equivalent to your current level, right? So I did my placement test. I was placed at B2 level. This is the Common European Framework for Reference for Language Learning, right? If you don't know what that is, just check it out on Wikipedia. It goes from A1 all the way up to C2, basically. So what else can you change here? The number of topics, right? They have 26 different topics. You can change which ones you want to learn about. And new sentences, basically every time you start a new session, a Glossika session, it will add in, the default is 10 new sentences each time. And the rest of the sentences will be ones that you've already gone through, but you'll be reviewing them again, right? And again, the algorithm knows when to get you to review which sentences, so that you're basically always learning at a maximum, which is fantastic. So if we go to topics here, just click change, you can see there's lots of different topics to choose from. If you're a beginner in the language, there's no reason why you should only learn certain topics. So I would advise just leaving them all on. That means Glossika will pull sentences to do with all of these topics, and those are the ones you'll practice. However, if you have an intermediate level in the language, or you're quite advanced and you have a few gaps, let's say your knowledge of business vocabulary isn't so good, or business speech isn't so good, you could turn all of these off like this, and you could just leave business on, okay? So it really gives you a lot of freedom to customize what you learn, which is fantastic. Alright, so if we go back here to progress, you can see here as well there's other trainings you can do. So not just listening and repeating, but here there's also typing, there's dictation, there's choice, there's translation, there's fill in. Alright, and I'll get to those in a second, but first I want to just show you what the kind of main training looks like. And I'll play that for you now. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. I'm going to actually turn my computer sound up because my mic is not that close to my computer, but hopefully you will be able to hear this.
Your bag exceeds the carry-on size limit.
你的包超过随身行李的尺寸了。
I'm allergic to shrimp.
我对虾过敏。
Alright, so that's kind of what the default training looks like. You're going to hear the English sentence first, then a gap, then the Chinese, and then there's a gap for you to repeat. Then once you repeat, the software goes to the next one. Okay, and that's kind of how it works. Very simple, very straightforward, but very powerful at the same time. So it's almost like reviewing flashcards, but instead of words, you're learning whole sentences, and you actually have audio as well, which is fantastic, obviously for a language like Chinese especially, because you know, tones are such a big thing in the language. And that's another reason why I really like Glossika, because practicing sentences is going to help you improve your tones much more than practicing words in isolation. And this is something I've written about before, because tones tend to flow into one another, right? When you're saying a sentence, they flow from one to the next. Whereas when you're just learning tones in isolation, what happens is when you speak, you kind of sound robotic, because you're making sure to really emphasize each tone in the sentence, and it sounds strange. If you're learning whole sentences, you're going to learn kind of the flow of the tones, and that's really a lot more natural. Alright, so what you can also do is you can actually click this heart here, and that'll save this sentence to your favorites. So say you think it's something that's extra useful, or something you just you really don't want to forget, you can save that to your favorites, and you can review those whenever you like. So yeah, I mean, Glossika is essentially listening and repeating, but the amazing thing is that, first of all, there's so much content here. right? There's loads and loads and loads of sentences about different topics, so you're never going to be short on content. And then what Glossika does, it allows you to assimilate these kind of like grammatical patterns and structures when practicing these sentences, which is fantastic. It gives you control over what topics to choose. It gives you control over when to do your training. Everything's online, you can access it whenever you need to, which is great. And let's see what else. Yeah, so I mean, Glossika is really focused at just building up your memory, right? Building up your memory with regards to sentences and patterns and structures in the language. And I think it's a really powerful thing to use, especially if you're a bit more advanced than beginner. You can use this if you're a beginner, for sure. But I got a lot of use out of it when I was already sort of at a lower intermediate level. So I would recommend it mostly to people who have kind of gotten over that beginner's hump already. But really anyone can use this. Alright, so guys, go ahead over to the Glossika website. There is a link in the description, and there should be one in the comments section as well. Go ahead over there, sign up for your 7-day free trial. Give it a go, demo it, demo the software, go through all the different trainings that you can do. Have a lot of fun with it. I'm sure you'll see how powerful it is. And then, you know, if you want to carry on, you can always upgrade to the paid version, which gives you access to all the languages, all the recordings, everything. And that is a monthly fee. You can see that in the pricing section. I'll quickly go there now. Alright, so you got two options. You can either just pay monthly, $30 a month, or you can pay annually and get a bit of a discount. Alright, fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click on those links in the description to be taken here. And yeah, I hope you enjoy Glossika. Thank you for watching.